Hello and welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 343. If you are a new viewer, thank you for stopping by, and if you haven't already, please click that little red subscription button down below, and if you click the bell-shaped icon next to it and then click all, that will let you know anytime I post a video, which is always on Saturdays and Wednesdays, and anytime there's a good yarn sale. We're going to be talking about some yarn sales at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back each time. I really do appreciate it. Let's get started. I have a finished object that almost wasn't. I'll explain. I finished the Forever sweater. Here we go. I will be modeling it. But here it is. The top is this mesh, and I have not blocked it or anything. I am really hoping that this does not curl. The ribbing was done different than what I've seen before. Normally when you have ribbing, you go down a knitting needle size or two for the ribbing, because otherwise it's wider. You can see here it's wider than the stitches up above, so as a result it kind of puffs out. And it did not call for me to do that. At least I didn't see that in the pattern. So I almost had to rip part of it out. And I'll explain why. Actually, I'm going to insert a video to explain why, because I filmed it while I was doing it. I had a huge mess up. I'm going to show you what I did. This was the one side, and if you remember, for the sleeve, because this is the bodice, for the sleeve you did some increases on the side. However, when I went to do the other side, I completely forgot to do the increases. I did not realize that until I hooked the top together here and wondered why I had more stitches on one side than I did on the other side of the neck. So in order to fix that, I'm working on one side at a time. This is the side I'm working on. I undid the shoulder, and I have them on stitch holders right now. And you can see this is the side here that has, I'll do it here so you can see it. This is the side with the increases. So this is what it's supposed to look like, and this is the side where I did not do the increases. So rather than have to rip the whole thing out, I've actually counted how many rows, how wide this was, this increase, and how many rows it was from here up to the top of the neck where it has ribbing stitches. And I did the same on this little piece here. So my goal is to actually, well, this is on the wrong side, to actually splice these together along the bottom here, and then add this part into the neckline, and hopefully I can salvage this so that I do not have to rip that whole side of the top out. We'll see what happens. Alright, I have finished the repair. You can see it right here. Here's what the side that doesn't have the repair looks like. That'll be the front. The back we'll just pretend isn't there. It's a, quote, design element, but I wove those together and then completed the seam across to where the edge of the neck is. So I think it's going to work out at this point. We're gonna call it done and say yes, it worked out. So that's my fix on it. Yes, so we almost had a disaster, but I think this is the side that has the area that's fixed. And unless you're really looking, there it is here. Here it is on this side here. It's not so noticeable that, and I'm going to wear it on the back so at least I don't see it. But yeah, I think it will work. So I'm going to stick in some pictures of me modeling the almost mistake. So here is the sweater on, and like I said, I hope that it stops curling, but there it is on, and the sleeves are a nice length. I was afraid I'd have to add to them, but they actually are pretty good. I think I am going to close the shoulders up a little bit here because, yeah, I like it a little, I don't like it this far off on my shoulders, so I might close the shoulders in a little more. So there's the front, and there's the back with the knitting faux pas on the sleeves. So there we go, and I like it. It's very comfortable. So, and it doesn't seem to be too see-through-y up top. I was afraid it would be, but it doesn't seem to be. So, yeah, there we go. So that is my finished object. I do not have any crochet projects this week, and I'll explain why. As you're watching this, Kim and I are at Good Old Days in Littlestown, Pennsylvania at a craft fair, well, selling our stuff at a craft fair. I don't want to start any more crochet projects till after this craft fair because depending on how, most of the things I'm selling are crocheted. And if I sell a lot, which I'm hoping I do, but if I sell a lot, I'm going to have to crochet my little fingers to the bones, making more before our next craft fair, which is in October, which is only, sounds like a long ways away, but it's only 8 weeks away until our next craft fair. So as a result, I didn't want to start any new crochet projects, just in the event that I need to make a bunch of things for the craft fair in October. So I do have one work in progress. I am making another cowl. This is called Colors of the Wind Infinity Cowl. It is from a book. There were numerous patterns in there. The book is called Knitting with Disney, but this is the name of the pattern. It's by Tanis Gray. You can find this pattern other locations. I did see it over on Ravelry. And I believe she has it on maybe another website. But the premise is, and I'm going to show it to you real quick, it's done with leaves, and I'm modifying it a little bit. So it has this here, this part as a border. Now the infinity scarf goes this direction. Okay, so you've got a border here. This is the part I don't like, is the border on each side here, because it only repeats it once. So you'd end up with one block of patterns in it, and I just didn't care for that. I would rather have the whole thing, this part of the pattern. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm just repeating this section. So I am modifying it. I'm also modifying it in that it was done with worsted weight, and I am doing it with a 3 weight. So let me show you the colors I am using with this. It's going to be various colors. Right now, I'm using these 2 yarns. This is my main color, and I'll tell you what this is in just a minute, but this is my main color. It is alpaca, and this is alpaca also. It's kind of a tonal rusty orange color, kind of a burnt orange. This was given to me by my coworker who went to Peru. So she literally bought this from somebody in Peru. And this yarn is also from Peru. I have 2 skeins of it. So let me show you what I have here. So this is called Chaska Alpaca Yarns. It's 100% baby alpaca. It's made in Peru. And it's kind of a heathered color. Well, there you can see it. It shows up really well. And then I know that that's not going to be enough. So I have some Ella Ray Sport. Now this is, I think, just Highland Peruvian yarn. It's a little rustic, which means it's a little scratchy. Now this is made in Romania, but it is 100% wool. It is not as soft as the alpaca, but I think the colors blend well together. And then I have one other color to put in with it, and that is this color. And I have no idea what this yarn is. I don't remember where it came from, but it is a tonal gold. So all the colors all together through this, see if I can hold this all up without it falling, are going to be these fall colors. So the two browns are the background color, and the rust and the gold are going to be the leaves. So I just got started on this literally last night. So you really can't see what I've got done so far. It is color work. So what you're seeing is the bottom of a leaf. This is the stem. Well, if you were holding it up like this, there's the stem, and this is part of the leaf right in here. But you can't see a whole lot right now. And if you're wondering why is the edge blue, it calls for a provisional cast on, which means that when you join it together, when you finish it all the way around, you won't have a seam. Now, when I first looked at this pattern, I thought, why is it calling for so much yarn to do a cowl with? Color work does take more yarn because you are literally carrying it across, and you can see it here. You are carrying these strands across the back, so even though you're only seeing it pop out at places, it is carried across the back. So it takes double anyway, but apparently when the designer of this, sorry, my camera was going out of focus. So apparently the designer of this did not want any of this, you know, the floats where you've carried the yarn showing, because when you put it on your neck, you know, if it tips over or whatever, you're going to see it. So this, it does not go this direction. This actually goes this way. So it is going to be front and back. All of your floats are going to be inside. So you're basically knitting a tube and then going to hook that tube together. So if it does get curled or twisted, or even if you want to twist it, you're not going to have a wrong side popping out and showing. So that is the two projects that I'm working on. What have you been working on this week? to have your items that you're making, or items that, they don't have to be items that you've just made. If you have a favorite project that you've made in the past and you want to share it with everybody, we would love to see it. You can send me a picture over at KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com, or you can contact me over on Facebook at Katrina Knits. You can post it directly onto my page or message me, and that way I'll know that it's okay to share that picture. Just tell me a little bit about the pattern or the yarn or something so we know a little bit more about it. So what am I reading? I am reading, because You know, you guys know I love organizing. If you haven't seen my other, it's not a channel, but my other segments that I do sometimes on organizing, I like to organize. It drives Dave crazy. But anyway, I have been reading this one. It's Organization Hacks. Over 350 simple solutions to organize your home in no time. Easier said than done. The author is Carrie Higgins, and I actually bought this book used, and I'm about a third of the way through it so far. So yeah, I've been looking at that, reading through it, and it's a quick read, you can see. So it does have some craft ideas of how you can make some storage items yourself. If I can find this on Amazon, I'll put it down in the link down below. But yeah, it gives you little hacks of how to make some of these things yourself at a cheaper rate than if you went out and bought them. So kind of neat. So Wednesday's video is going to be a craft show recap. I'm going to show you what it looked like when I stuffed my car. I felt like the Grinch stuffing the tree up because my car is loaded with like 3 tables right now and all of the craft things and the canopy and the chair, and yeah. So anyway, make sure you come back on Wednesday to check out, and I'll show you a picture and some video of Kim and mine, how we set up our vending booth and all that kind of stuff. So we actually have a pretty good sized vending booth. Normally we share a 10 by 10 foot space, but this year it's a 20 by 20 foot space. So we borrowed some tables from my daughter, so we have more room to sell stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. So yeah, be thinking of us if you're watching this today. Now it's time for... Now in our Come and Get It section today, we have knit picks. Their yarn of the month is Stroll Yarns, and it is 20% off. All of the links to the sales are down below in the description box, and they're all alphabetical so you can find them easy. Mary Maxim has $4.99 flat rate shipping for domestic shipping only, so just in the US. $4.99 flat shipping on any order over $40. So that's Mary Maxim. Annie's has a couple of pattern sales running. Now they just came out with their signature fall line, which is crochet and knitting patterns that are done by designers that are special for Annie's. So they have a signature collection. They have 2 downloadable patterns for $10. So there's some of your more expensive patterns that they have now marked down to $5 a piece. That sale runs until Monday, and the coupon code for that is MIX, M-I-X. But they're also running another sale on patterns on any of the other downloadable patterns, and that is 30% off. That runs until Tuesday, and the coupon code for that is DL30. So that is Annie's. And then Lion Brand's running a good one, guys. They have 30% off of select yarns, okay? Or maybe it's 30% off all. I don't know. There's 30% off of some yarn. But then in addition to that, on select yarns, you can get an additional 20% off. So there's a potential of up to 50% off of your yarn. It's only on select yarns, but it's up to, you could get up to 50% between the two of them. Anyway, you do need to use a coupon code, and that is AUGAD20. And that sale ends Monday at 9 a.m. So that is Lion Brand. So if you want to get some stuff at a decent price, yeah, that sale is running. So anyway, those are the sales that I am aware of. Make sure you check back on Wednesday to see how Kim and I have everything set up and how everything goes at the craft fair, what our big sellers were, and all that kind of fun stuff. So that will be Wednesday's video. If you missed last Wednesday's video, I answered 9 fiber related questions, and the 10th one was just something unusual about me, whether I still have all 10 of my fingers after getting bit by a crocodile. If you want to hear about that, check out that video right over here, and you'll hear the story about my getting bit by a crocodile and not missing a finger from doing it. So that's what I have for you this week. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.